And joining us right now is that committee's chairman, Patrick McHenry. Chair McHenry, what do you plan to ask today?
I think the basics, they didn't really cover this yesterday, but the basic decision-making of that week. What do they know on Monday, Tuesday, going into Wednesday, where the bank run began, Thursday, where it got heightened, and then obviously all their decision-making on Friday. And so the Fed has some questions to answer about that week, especially the vice chair for supervision, who has all the regulatory powers of the Fed reporting to him, and the chair of the FDIC from that moment on Friday, where they took the institution going into Sunday. On Friday, they said it was an idiosyncratic institution, and by Sunday, they had a systemic risk designation that said they're going to backstop all the deposits. I want to understand the decision-making of those key hours, those key moments. I think the American people deserve that transparency.
I mean, it was a little shocking to hear some of those details yesterday. The idea that there were $100 billion in one day that was scheduled to go out after losing $42 billion the next day. I mean, that's I don't think we've ever seen
it's a jaw-dropping number
like that.
No, and frankly, this is what I'll say at the hearing. Frankly, we have a massive amount of regulation looking very specifically at the details of banks. But the hole in the balance sheet was obvious in a Wall Street Journal report as of November. The Fed had detailed this at the board level in February. They were aware of the hole in the balance sheet because of the inflationary environment. The second piece was the magnitude.
That was shocking. Well, I think February, the month before, was too late, but the Fed did have some people out at the San Francisco Regional Fed Bank, at least, that was looking at things as early as a year earlier. Why didn't that get kind of called up the flagpole sooner?
Right. So they had the right documentation to say that they had pinged the institution, and the institution was attempting to comply. But did the vice chair for supervision make provision for the institution in a moment of crisis? But in the key hours of Thursday, when the bank run began at Silicon Valley Bank, what was the decision making at the Fed? And so we want to understand that. We obviously, the magnitude of the withdrawals was something that we've not seen the likes of in any bank run in human history. It was faster and of a larger magnitude than anything else. So very hard to say that it's a regulatory change or a law that would anticipate something that bank supervisors had assumed would not be the case in a moment of stress.
I guess my question to this is, what do you think? Obviously, you said we don't know everything yet, but heading into this, is it your suspicion that this was a one-off or a two-off if you look at Signature Bank? Or do you think that there are a lot of other institutions, other banks out there that could be at risk in similar manners?
Well, that's a very good question that we need the panel to answer. It's also important that we actually lay down the facts of the matter of that week. There's much that we don't know. We read press reports and glowing reports of how valiantly they fought the fight. What we don't know is the data they were using and the methodology that they undertook these extraordinary measures.